Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for a Premier League watch along. It is Watford versus Norwich. I'll say it nice and early. Please let me know if you can see me and hear me loudly and clearly. I couldn't hear the theme tune coming through there. So do let me know in the chat if everything is all working okay. Fingers crossed it is. I'll wait for the go ahead in the chat that you can hear me. But we did have some technical issues there to start the stream, which is always good fun. So assuming everything is okay and we're all moving nicely, yes, good. Thank you, Dave, and thank you, Mr. Radio Floyd. Immediately a £2 super chat. I'm on the hard stuff. I'll drink to that. Thank you very much, Mr. Radio Floyd. Very, very kind. Thank you guys for confirming that. I don't know what happened to the theme tune. I had all my settings correct anyway, but there we go. So huge game for our dearly departed series because we've got two teams right down there in the bottom four, both playing each other. A Watford win here against Norwich would put them 4 points clear of relegation, and a Norwich win would take them out of the bottom three. It's been snail racing down the bottom there. So what we know about these four teams down there, Watford, Norwich are two of them, Newcastle and Burnley the others. Anyone puts any kind of run together, they're probably going to get themselves out of the bottom three. And when I say puts a run together, I'm not talking about a lot. I'm talking about 5 points across 4 games or something like that. Will probably move the needle at this stage. So this is a huge game, a really, really big game for both teams. We will get into the action with 12 minutes from kickoff. We'll go through the team news and all of that good stuff. Get your predictions in the chat as well. And then we will head over to betfair.com and have a look at the odds. We're partnered with betfair.com and Football365 as ever on our watch along tonight. So we'll check in with Betfair. If you want to add a little bit of spice to the evening, you can find something hopefully on Betfair that takes your fancy. Please gamble responsibly, of course. Do say hello in the chat. Sorry, a bit of a wobbly start with the technical hitch we may or may not have had, but I think we're all good and going now. Let's just say a big thanks to Luca, who sponsors all our watch-along shows. Luca Bentley, set up by his dad, Stephen. Luca's a great lad. So is his dad, Stephen. In fact, we thank both of them supporting on Patreon, and you can do the same. Let me just do the plugs real quickly. Please hit the like button wherever you're watching. We are live on Twitter, Facebook, and I know most of you watch down YouTube. So do hit the thumbs up button wherever indeed you are. Hit subscribe. We're nearly at 20,400 now. So if anyone hasn't hit subscribe, that would do me a real solid. And you can see Mr. Radio Floyd already did Super Chat. And if you want to support via Super Chat, you can do this. Will always be free on YouTube, but it's just a way of sort of giving us a tip. And there we go. Beans, we've only got one game tonight. We got the teams ticking along the bottom for you as well. Right, let's do some hellos and then we'll get some team news and some betting news as well. Sophie is there at the game. Nice. Travelling neither expectation or hope. Oh, dear. There's positivity. Thought you'd be travelling in transport. Very nice. Very nice. But Charlotte, classic 6-pointer, agreed. Should be interesting. Both sides are missing key players due to injury, illness and AFCON. Yeah, agree with all of that. Of course, Watford without Ismail Assar, but they do have Emmanuel Dennis in terms of the AFCON players, which is, of course, good news. Let's say hi to Ewan. We've already said hi to Mr. Radio Floyd. Owen had a bad day. Hopefully the stream will cheer you up. Hopefully it will. Owen, you're amongst friends. Christopher, massive game, isn't it? Just Hal, my nephew's first Premier League game. Woof. I hope he loves it. Hey, how the other half live, indeed. A lot of Championship fans here, obviously, we know. Where are we? Toby actually have a chance in a game. I personally believe if we lose, we're down. It is such a big game. It does have that feel about it that a win could really do something. And if that's the case, then a defeat could really do something as well. Benny says 2-0 Watford. Jake's gone for the old unhelpful draw. We haven't mentioned that. draw is... Look, I know neither side wants to lose. Draw is no help at all because, frankly, that leaves them both susceptible, doesn't it? I don't think... I know Newcastle have got Leeds, haven't they? And Burnley have got Arsenal as well. So maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe we have to revise an unhelpful draw because you could see the other two both losing this weekend. It's just such a big chance for the winner, isn't it? There you go. Dessert tune with a Newcastle base desperately seeking a draw. I understand why. 3-2 Norwich, Mr. Radio Throw. 1-0 Norwich, says Christopher. David's gone for the draw. Evening, Wayne. We are all good. Baby's just gone to bed, actually. So hopefully there's no goals early in the game. So I'll be screaming and waking her up. So evening, Alex. Ewan's gone 1-0 Norwich. 3-0 Watford. 4-0 Watford. 2-0 Watford. 2-1 Watford. Will I do Forest Derby? Do you know, I think I might do, James. We'll see what time I get to bed and what time I get up and how many chores I've done before as to how early I can start tomorrow. Howdy, Dallas. Wayne's gone for Norwich. Carl's gone for the draw. Carl, I'm all good. The girls are lovely. Thank you for asking. Dave's gone for Norwich. Still have a game in hand. That's a good point, Dale. Yeah, perfectly good point. So the state of play down the bottom, Burnley have only played 17. Bear in mind, they've only won one of those games. And Jamie Carragher's made the point that I always make on the Sky coverage. Don't fall into that trap of adding 3 points on for games in hand, especially not when all these teams down here are functioning at less than 1 point per game. So it's easily done, isn't it? We see the games in hand and we assume that's 3 points. It never is. Even with Man City, it's a fool's errand to add 3 points on the game. But good point. So Burnley have played 17. Watford have 2 games in hand on Norwich and one. Newcastle have a game in hand on Norwich, but Watford have a game in hand on Newcastle. It'll all shake out. Either one of these teams is going to go on a run. These are the 3 scenarios, I think. One will go on a run and we'll get 3 marooned on the bottom. They'll all keep stinking it out and it will go right till the end. Or, which this sometimes happens in the Championship, they'll all rise together. They'll all win at the same time. You wait and see. It'll be one of those 3 things. There's probably all the options. Anyway, Phil, welcome along. It's a Championship game. It was a Championship game last year, but these two got themselves up. So we'll give them the respect of their Premier League status. I'm going for the Hornets, but my predictions are rubbish. Can't be any worse than mine. Oliver's gone for Watford. Stephen's gone for Watford. Ant doesn't like football after. Yeah, how did Leicester lose that game, man? Incredible. Just one of those things, wasn't it? You knew when that kicked off what was going to happen, didn't you? Norwich plays some good football. Yes, they do. Alex, yes to a super stream tomorrow. We'll talk about Ollie Burke at half-time. Ask me again. Oh, great news if Bielik's starting for Darby. 23s tomorrow night. Possible Championship game next 7. It's not guaranteed, but could happen. Could well happen. Right, let's get into the team news. You can see it ticking along the bottom, but we'll do it in some proper detail. Get your thoughts on these team selections and where you think the key areas are, of course. No Foster, so backman in goal for Watford. Doesn't necessarily weaken them. He played a lot of games last season. Kamara, Samir, both new signings, but they did both play last week. Kabasele comes in. He's not necessarily a first choicer there. Firmino at right back. Watford back 4 has changed a lot throughout the season, and Watford fans are really going to want it to settle as we go into the sort of second half and the last 10, 15 games. Midfield for Watford, Cleverly, Kayembe and Sissoko. No Kutska. Up top, João Pedro, King and Dennis. And in terms of the bottom 4, that's strong, isn't it? Especially Emmanuel Dennis, who's having a really, really good season. João Pedro's got quality. He's still sort of developing his way into English football. Josh King has got experience as well. So if this is a tight game and it is going to be a 1-0 either way, maybe in terms of a front 3, Watford have got a bit of an edge there. Let me know if you agree or not. Norwich, Gunn in goal, so it's not Krul. So my argument here, and I'm not having a pop at Angus Gunn, I'm just making a comparison with Watford. Foster to backman is less of a step down than Krul to Gunn is, in my opinion. I think Krul's kind of big personality there in in the goal for Norwich, although Angus Gunn is just stepping out now. By the way, the scarves are all up for the great Graham Taylor, who died 5 years ago today, Watford's greatest ever manager. And if you go to Watford even now, there's the Graham Taylor stand, there's the statue there. Brilliant football man, Graham Taylor, and badly missed down at Watford. So all the scarves are up for Graham Taylor. You can give your own tributes in the chat. The back four for Norwich, Aarons, Hanley, Gibson and Williams. Well, that's fine, isn't it? I think that's pretty much the first choice back four. Sorensen and Lees-Melou in central midfield is not McLean. It looks fantastic, the tribute to Graham Taylor, by the way, on TV. He would be super chuffed with that, wouldn't he? A great man. Rasica down the left wing is good news for Norwich. And Sargent, who's been an expensive, not great signing, they're pretty much just sticking him down the right-hand side as a runner. We'll see if he can have some impact today. He did, with one of his crosses, set up one of the goals against Everton. It was an own goal, though. Teemu Pukki, we know if you give him chances, he will score them. It's just in the Championship, he gets loads of chances. In the Premier League, he gets less. We don't want to have the Mitrovic conversation again, but there's more to it than just a player. It's all about the circumstances in terms of the goals being different. But Pukki did hit 11 in the Premier League last time up in a team that finished bottom. So I'm of the belief if you do give him chances, he will get them. But hey, are we stating the bleeding obvious here? Give a striker chances. They should be scoring them, shouldn't they? But you know what I'm saying. He's got a partner up there, Adam Eder. So Dean Smith has just simplified it really for Norwich and gone with the old 4-4-2 and getting two up top. Let's have a look at the benches for you. For Watford, with Don Claudio, the manager, Elliott and Ngakia, Siralta, Kuchka, Sema, Tufan, Morris, Hernandez and Fletcher. For Norwich, McGovern, Byram, Janulis, Kabak, Placheta, McLean, Rowe, Dowell, Scholes. Not the strongest for either when we watch a Premier League game. And just in terms of affecting the game, to be honest, okay, maybe Hernandez, maybe a Sema coming on down the left wing for Watford, or a Kuchka to seal it up in midfield. For Norwich, I guess Placheta. Scholes hasn't really done it yet. I know he's very, very young. So, not sure about either manager's real opportunities there. The players that are going to win this game look like they're already on the pitch at the start of the game, isn't it? Right, I think we're about ready to start up. I am watching on, I think it's Sky Sports. Yes, Sky Sports main event. So we'll give you a timestamp after 1 minute. If you're watching on Sky Go or Smart TV or Now TV, you might probably be behind me actually if you're using an internet feed. So just pause me, use my timestamps and get lined up. Let's go into the chat one more time before we go. Alistair, FPL Derby tonight, Dennis versus King. Firmly captained him as well. Yeah, RIP Meatloaf as well. What a great career Meatloaf has, who sadly died today. We'll sing some Meatloaf in the stream later. We have kicked off down at Vicarage Road, Norwich, actually straight onto the attack with Sargent going down the right. Sissoko just levers him off the ball. It's referee Dean tonight, who's always good fun. And it's our lively start there by Norwich, trying to get Sargent into the box on the right corner. Just got levered off the ball, but Sargent's just having a word with referee Dean here. I don't think there was much in it. And Watford take the restart. GT was a legend. Yeah, documentary wasn't good for him, but I think he won his reputation back there. Worked Watford another 2 promotions with them. Didn't work out at Wolves either, did it for the great Graham Taylor. But when he was with Watford, he was just a magician, wasn't he? Taylor, for goodness sakes. What else have we got in the chat? Whoever wins, Everton looking over their shoulders. Chris, yeah, agreed. Moving into Daryl. Here come Norwich again. That's going to be a free kick right on the edge of the box. Sissoko looks indignant. I think he knows that was a foul. Adam Eder wins the free kick. Norwich have started well, actually. It's just a kind of intensity rather than anything. They've just sort of pressed at the box the 2 chances they've got. And they look dangerous, actually. It's a bit sluggish from Watford. That might be unfair after just 1 minute. So, free kick to Norwich. And over the past seasons watching Norwich, you would have said Mario Vrancic. Emi Buendia wasn't a great at free kicks, was he? Todd Cantwell, maybe, but neither of them are there. Jacob Sorensen is about 8 steps away, but Milo Rasica looks like he's going to take it. 4-man wall. Can he hit the target here, Rasica? Looks like he's going to smash it. Rasica smashes it straight into the wall. It goes loose to Sargent. Sargent knocks it back. A turn inside from Lys Melou. And here come Watford on the counter. And if João Pedro could have got past Aarons there, it's knocked off and out of play. If João Pedro got past Aarons there, would have been a really nice looking counter. That Vindaloo agreed. Goal scoring ability might decide it. Dennis King and João Pedro might be the difference. Might be the difference. We can use Meatloaf lyrics to describe the game. As long as we're not Midnight at the Lost and Found and still on. And in that Graham Taylor tribute, there was not a dry eye in the house. And João Pedro going down the wing there like a bat out of hell. That'll get old very, very quickly. Won't it? We'll give you your time sync. Sorry, I haven't done that just yet. What else have we got here? Meatloaf puns. Either do anything for love. Lovely stuff. Pookie has a 66% chance conversion. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Keep him coming. The great Meatloaf, who sadly died today. Ben, I'm now a lord. A nice shock. Having a title bought me. I feel lucky as Man City. Come on, Norwich. Have my free bet on you. Well, there you go. Sissoko is actually huge. Yeah, he is. He didn't look like he was getting about the pitch that quickly, though, for that first foul. Did he? Right, sorry. Let's get into this now. We'll stick 0-0 up on the banner down there. Please hit like, by the way, if you're watching on the stream. Damn, I just hit... Right, 4 minutes was... There's a vague timestamp. I'll give you a more detailed one. There, didn't give you much warning there, but we're 4 minutes and 7 in. Watford 0, Norwich 0. Norwich have started the better. Forced a free kick right on the area, on the edge of the area. Rasica stuck it in to the wall. It's my first time seeing Samir, Kamara and Kayembe, who have only played 1 game for Watford. I'm sure it's the same for most of you guys watching, so get your early thoughts in on them. Pookie to Aarons. Lys Melou and Hanley's going to go all the way home. First chance Watford really have had to push up the pitch. They've been sat in, although Ranieri's very good, as our friend Ant will tell us in the chat, extremely good at setting up a team that does sit in and just springs out. So maybe that might be deliberate, but they do look like they're inviting Norwich onto them at the moment. Sissoko, the World Cup winner, plays it to Firmino in the right-back area. Out it goes to Dennis. Kayembe, I think that's his first touch. And it's inside from Cavasele to Samir. Out to the left-back spot is Camara. And Watford just keeping hold of the ball, getting their first bit of possession in this one. Watford 0. Norwich 0. 5:32 gone. Keep your comments coming in as we go. Give me your thoughts. Now that's one back high up the pitch by Norwich, by Sorensen. And given away there by Rasica. I kind of understand what Dean Smith's done here with Norwich. He's just simplified all of it, hasn't he? Front 2, try and help Pookie. 2 wide players, central midfielders, and Lys Melou and Sorensen. They're just patrolling it, aren't they? They're not going to try and do anything spectacular. And it looks like just a kind of back to basics to stop them losing. Sorry, Chris, I have not done the proper timestamp. We try and do it at 7 minutes. I keep forgetting. Not in love anymore. Dum, dum, dum. Keep forgetting. Things will never be the same again. That one's knocked out of play in the dugouts. Ida was challenging for it. It's going to be a Norwich throw-in. Luke, Watford has the 4th best shots on target percentage in the Premier League. Interesting. Free kick to Watford. Right, let's give you your time stamp. We're going to be at 7 minutes in. 3, 2, 1. Get synced up. Andy says, Sky Sports commentary or me. As soon as he said that, I made a mistake as well. So that's a free kick to Watford. Free kick conceded by Watford on Teemu Pukki. Free kick is to Norwich, which Rasica is going to take. I didn't see the other team. Leicester and one other team have conceded more set play goals than Watford this season. But Grant Hanley on the back stick commits a foul. Nigerian blinding AFCON form. Dennis has a point to make. Yeah. Some issues getting Dennis to AFCON. He's not there. He's here and he's playing tonight. Probably the signing of the season at Watford for sure, isn't he? Dennis. Luton to win tomorrow, says Don Ram. He's off to Sheffield United. Great place to watch football, that proper stadium, Sheffield United, isn't it? Enjoy that one. Good luck. Let us know where you're watching your football tomorrow. I'll be here on the Saturday Super Stream. Let us know if you're going to a game. Peanuts hoping for a Pukki goal. I think there might be a finish angle on that. 8:20 gone. Throw in Norwich. Aarons takes it and he plays it off camera. Norwich are edging this one. If you were kind of scoring it, it's sort of 55-45 Norwich, isn't it, so far? Aaron's taking his time with the throw. And where's the option? There it is. It's Pukki. Pukki's going to try and win a corner. Oh, actually, he's done better than that. Cuts it into the box. And it's blocked initially by Samir. I just wondered as he slid in there whether get your arms out of the way. Always the danger when you're sliding in there and a low cross goes in of conceding it. Ranieri 4-4-2, solid back four. Sixes exactly. That's the plan, isn't it? He's more 4-3-3 here, Don Claudio, isn't he? But the philosophy still kind of, this spring out business stands the same. He'll do well to replicate one of the greatest seasons in Premier League history, though, if not the greatest. João Pedro. That's a good tackle by Lee Smelu. Pukki waits for that to come to him. Sissoko bursts out of midfield. Good play by Sissoko. He knocks it into Sorensen. And it's back with Norwich. Watford really can't seem to get a hold of the ball for any sustained time here. Have they won the throw-in down the side here? No, they haven't. That's going to go to Norwich. Wenlock is off to Everton Villa. First time at Goodison. Another proper stadium, that is. But good luck. I hope you're tall, Wenlock, because you're going to be standing in that away end. And I hope you can see down the other end as well. Bit of a tricky view at Everton, but great place to go. Headed on by João Pedro, headed away by Gibson. First time I've mentioned him. Andy's off to Kelty Hearts v St Johnstone. Be a good game, that. JC, I think I went for a 1-0 Watford in this one. Although watching the first 10 minutes, I need to see a bit more from Watford, I have to say. Gaz, as a Leeds fan, let's have a draw. I think you're all right, Gaz. I think you'll be a fair way away from, not fair way, but above these two, put it that way. Ben worked at both the Kenny and Bramall Lane, two totally different grounds, amazing atmospheres. Absolutely. Goodison, great ground. Daryl off to Birmingham and Barnsley. Are you going to the protest, Daryl? There's a protest outside the COP, I think, Birmingham at 1:30 tomorrow. Oh, there's a giveaway. It's Sargent into the box. Sargent turns inside, works the ball to Rasica, hits the shot over the bar. It's by no means a big chance, but it's the best chance of the game. That if you don't count the free kick that Rasica had, which I don't really. This is closer in without a wall in the way. Let's have a look. It's a bit of a giveaway by Sissoko. Really, really silly pass, actually, when you look at it. Sargent does well, actually, turns inside. It's good play by Sargent. Rasica's got the right idea, actually. He's got the right line on that shot. The height is way too much, but I don't think I'm exaggerating. I mean, let me know if we've got any Watford in the chat. Let me know. I think Norwich are the better side in this game so far. Don Claudio, well, you can't get a read on him. He's just stood arms folded on the side observing. 1 win in 10 for Watford. Worse still, though, 8 defeats in those 10 games for the Hornets, but a win tonight, 4 points gap. It's not been great for Norwich either. 1 win in 9, but what I will say about Norwich, they've got 3 wins in the 11 games, and they have got 11 points in their last 11. I would suggest, given how bad it is down the bottom there, if they get 11 points from their next 11 games, Norwich, which would take them to 25 from 33, no, they would be running out of games, wouldn't they? That shows that they've left themselves a lot to do from the start of the season, Norwich. Point per game, we think will definitely be enough this season, don't we? But obviously, slow start for Norwich. We think the survival number, I think the survival number will be more like 34, 35 rather than 38, which would be a points per game. Right. What else have we got here? Fancy Norwich to stay up with Smith, been simple but solid. Goodison and Selhurst best away days. West Ham for banter, yeah, right. Villa Park gets, I do like Villa Park. Who's this idiot? There's always one, isn't there? What's he saying? It's literally 12 minutes. Most pointless statement from you. Yeah, let's just block him. Everyone wants to wave goodbye to Lost. He's about to get lost and not be able to comment again. Bye-bye, Lost. Sorry you couldn't cope with being able to speak to other humans on the internet. Never mind. Right. You can wave goodbye to Lost in the chat if you want. I think you can still see when I block. You just can't comment. What a shame, hey? What a shame. Here is Camera. Camera knocks that one inside. Switched out by Kayembe to Firmino. I hope Lost is still watching. Appreciate your waves goodbye to him. Hey, goodbye. Daryl, thanks for covering the news. New subscriber from having Danta on. Keep on. Oh, nice one, Daryl. Yeah, it's good to have Iain Danta on. That guy's a great talker, isn't he? Danta. He was on Tuesday. Check out that interview. Some great talk sports stories, some great Birmingham stories, commentary stories. Just a great talker, as you can imagine, with a professional sports commentator. Here is Sissoko inside. Watford just getting a bit more territory now. Camera's down the left wing. Puts the cross in left-footed. Ooh. And Dennis was arriving at the back post. I think he's fouled his man there, but he came flying in, Dennis. Couldn't quite get on the end of the cross. A little bit too high. Best moment in the game so far for Watford. Yeah, Dennis almost just... It's coming in too fast. You can see Grant Hanley gives Williams a big shout there. Dennis ends up fouling him. He just needs to calm his run down there, but... Story about Alan Brazil being on a bender all night. Oh, dear. Good old Alan. Hit the like button, says Marco. Absolutely. Hit that like button. Draw some new people to the stream. Hopefully they're not like Lost though. But there you go. Good old Lost. Lost without your love. Referee Dean gives a restart to Norwich. Watford probably having their best spell so far. Here's Lys Melou for Norwich. Cleverly fouls him. Cleverly is screaming at referee Dean, who's been very patient with him, actually, to be fair. Big one into the channel for Adam Eder. Headed away, and Norwich gain some territory. Sargent wins it in the right wing area. Nice little slide through to Pookie. Pookie gets it across, and it's just cleared out there by Samir on the back post. Looked like he lost his footing a little bit there. Hooked up in the air. Josh King, nice chest down. Norwich, good intensity from them. Pushed up the pitch there and pressed that nicely. And that's a foul by Brandon Williams. Will referee Dean bring out the yellow for that? That will set the tone if he does. That's good refereeing, actually, by referee Dean. He says, no yellow card. Next one, you'll get one. We get it. We get it. Alan Brazil is a beast. We'd love a pint with him. Not Adrian Durham, though. Well, look, we have to say Iain Danton was very complimentary to Adrian Durham, and I believe in life you should take people as you find them. So we respect that he's his colleague. Actually, Adrian Durham followed me on Twitter after that, so we're pretty much best mates now. Hey, this is a very tight game. I thought it would be. Yeah, it's a bit of feeling out process going on, especially from Watford's point of view. They're just sitting in, aren't they? Perry, this has the pace of a championship game. May have a point there, Perry. Yeah, particularly in the passing. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Samir, huge big diag there, looking for Dennis. Good ball that. Dennis, lovely first time cushion ball to Firmino. Dennis now. Watford building up off that long diag. Inside it goes. Cleverly edge of the box. Cleverly shot deflected, and that's gone out for a corner. Interesting one, this one. Both teams quite happy to play the channels, actually. It's quite old school, in fact, the sort of end-to-end, isn't it? It's a corner to Watford, though. They played off that long diagonal really nicely, actually. Corner then to Watford. Samir's up. Dennis is obviously in there. João Pedro. King all gathered in the middle. Cabasele's on the back post. Got a lot of hefty presence in there. It's not a good corner, though. I think it was Cambo who took the corner, yeah. It was headed away, and a bit of a waste, actually. Throw in Watford. Sissoko. Cambo again. Not a great cross either. Dennis is going to chase. Williams does well, actually. Just gets in the way. Adrian Durham lost the darts. Yeah. What's going on here? Kenny McLean's coming on. So I assume Sorensen, when he went down about 10 minutes ago, actually hurt himself. That's a shame for Sorensen, who got himself into the Norwich team. What happened? Sky is showing a replay here. He goes into a challenge. He just gets his legs stuck under Tom Cleverly. There's no kind of foul. But I think Cleverly sort of inadvertently, I think he fell on top of his, so his calf's kind of back like that and he falls on top of it. So I'm sure he'll be fine soon enough. But Sorensen's out of the game. Kenny McLean, the Scottish international, is into the game. And I've just realised we didn't check in with our sponsors, Betfair. Good thing it's still 0-0, you lot, isn't it? Have the odds moved? Yeah, they have as well. Sorry. Right, let's just dive in there with our sponsors, Betfair at the moment, 21 minutes in, quarter of the way in. Watford, 13-10. So they've drifted. They were evens at the start of the game. Norwich are 5-2. And both teams to score no at 4-7. Probably looks best value at the moment. Doesn't look like many goals in this one right now. Of course, that could change. Usual caveats to any gambling plugs from me. Please gamble responsibly. Only bet where you can afford. 18 plus only. BeGambleAware.org if you're going to head over to Betfair. Right, sorry, I need to update the ticker, don't I, if I've got teams on. So it was McLean in for Jacob Sorensen in central midfield. Norwich, sub within inside the first quarter of the game. Let's just do a bit of a numbers check, see if we can get you a read. Although actually Firminia's coming forward. He's done well there, Firminia. Here's João Pedro. João Pedro crosses blocked. There are your numbers. 70% possession, Watford. That's fairly surprising, actually, because the territory's been with Norwich. Obviously not the ball. 3 shots to 1 in Norwich's favour. No big chances yet. 1 corner to 0 in Watford's favour. And here comes the second corner for Watford. Cleverly, this time right-footed. João Pedro on the near post, who I underestimated his aerial ability. I thought it was a brilliant headed goal he scored at Newcastle last week, João Pedro. You see this kind of sort of slightly built Brazilian, and you think he's not going to score many headed goals, but he was onto that one as well, headed over the bar. But yeah, maybe I underestimated that. Pretty close to a must-win for Norwich, even away from home. Agreed. Is Buendia missed at Norwich, Neil? Yes. That's my opinion, Neil. I think he was by far their best player, and unfortunately had to sell. Brilliant player, Buendia. Dominant in the Championship and good in the Premier League as well. It was Pukki who just committed the foul there. Kabasele too strong for him. Referee Dean is just trotting back. Hal, this has got 1-0 all over it. Hal, obviously, of the Blades way, Sheffield United way. Go and check his channel out. Plug it in the chat, Hal. Excellent. Excellent work by him and Nick. Covering the Blades. Throwing down the right-hand side to Watford. Big switch of play there. Not the most sensible ball in the world. Real stitch up on Firmino there. Camera literally played the ball horizontally against, right the way across the pitch and sort of gave him a 50-50 header, and he got a bit of a smack there, didn't he? It was a good header. Lascelles should have won that duel. Yeah, he just got a run on him, didn't he? It's a good cross, good header, but you would have thought Lascelles would have won that. But yeah, there you go. Perry, don't open that can of worms. Do you think parachute payments are too high? Well, Perry, if you've watched my channel anytime over the last 3 years, you'll know that, look, the question is not, are they too high? The question is, in comparison with other teams' income up and down the pyramid, is there a disparity? Yes, massively. But hopefully we will get some kind of review of that going forward. Hopefully the project big picture stuff and the Super League exacerbates that, speeds it up. Hal, Sheffield United, wait for all your EFL needs. Yeah, get involved in that. Hal will be, no doubt, will be at the game actually tomorrow at the Bramall Lane. Perry, you're welcome. I did a video called The Truth About Parachute Payments. If you search that up, did a deep dive with all the numbers and everything. It's a very difficult discussion with parachute payments because the problem is, like with most topics in football, people get very emotional about it and see it through the prism of their club and think if their club had them and you're criticising their club. So look, I'm not criticising any club who's had them. God, I'd like the club I support to have had them once or twice. But unfortunately, it stands to reason that having Team A that finished 17th in the Premier League getting 100 million quid, Team B that finished 18th in the Premier League is going to get 45 million quid in the Championship next season, and Team C that lost in the playoff final getting 7 million quid causes problems, doesn't it? But yes, if Newcastle goes down, they get parachute. We get 3 years of lovely parachute payments. Not that they'll probably be down for 3 years, but there you go. Money doesn't guarantee promotion. No, and that's an argument, Mr. Radio Floyd, that often comes in. That's not the discussion when it comes to parachute payments. Don't look at promotion as your guide for what parachute payments do. Don't look at promotion. Just look at the disparity and what then teams that do have them can do financially, and what teams that don't have them can't do, and then try to do to get anywhere near the teams that do. Parachute payments are needed to support Premier League wages and Championship to avoid financial crippling. Yes, but the problem is that they're too big in comparison with what the rest of the Championship gets. So it causes... We understand that any business in the world can't go down from one revenues to 10% of it, but they have a horrible, horrible knock-on effect. Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely that these teams that come down can keep their players on 40, 50, 60, 80 grand a week, but it's what that then does. The knock-on effect is the issue. Here comes João Pedro. Inside, Sissoko side foot shot blocked out. Watford win it back. Here's Dennis. Kayambe. Josh King has a shot from way, way out. Cleverly heads it back. Firmino swings the cross in. Aaron's heads away. Sissoko picks it back up. Sargent in there. Boots it down the ground. Newcastle with parachute payments with 325 billion in the bank. Coles to Newcastle. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. If anything, the disparity with parachute payments just demonstrates the difference between the money Premier League. Of course it does. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. Fetzy. That's the argument, isn't it? Because the parachute payments are a percentage of Premier League TV money, which is way, way above the Championship. And then, of course, you get just this massive, the cliff edges, as Christian Perslow calls them, rightly, but then made some other silly comments after that. I used to like him. Dennis, obviously, I've got much respect for Christian Perslow, but some of his comments weren't wise, especially given where Villa have been in recent years as well. Here is Kayembe. Out to Dennis. Dennis has swapped wings, actually. He's down the left wing now. Pookie is back helping. The parachute payments don't need to be reduced. The teams below need to. Well, exactly. However you do it, it just needs to be evened up, doesn't it? We understand that the higher you finish in the pyramid, the more money you should probably get, right? Yeah? The better your team is, the more income you should make. We think that should be the way, but yeah, it's just the big gaps, isn't it? However it's done, the cliff edges just need to be reduced, and then we're all sorted. Here is Dennis over on the left now. João Pedro. Lots of space for Firmino on the right. Firmino crosses right-footed, looking for Cleverly. Good defending by Gibson on the near post. Watford are on top now, and I think they have been for about the last 10 minutes or so, haven't they? Another corner. It's going to come in from the right wing. Free header headed goalwards by Samir. Easy catch for Angus Gunn. Dun, 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 dun. Sean, thank you so much, Sean. He always does a super chat. Thank you, Sean. €10 on there. We drink to you, buddy. Parachute payments. What are they? Well, Sean supports Leeds, so his team have never had a parachute payment. Joined the club. I'm an Ipswich fan. There you go. But having a good laugh with the Leeds and the Brentford fans, particularly saying that they'll finally get up to the Premier League to get some parachute payments, and then they'll be taken away by the time they get relegated. Good advert for a TV game. This is not been great, has it, Jono? Not been great. We're talking about the financial landscape of the Championship rather than the game at the moment. So there you go. Maybe that tells its own story. King over on the right wing, double step over. King, clever ball, looking for Cleverly. Cleverly helps it on. He's totally overhit that one. Here's Camera inside back to Cleverly. And to your points about the quality of the game, I think the high stakes and the fact that neither team wants to lose this one means you've got this idea of sitting in, this idea of not being out of shape with the ball ahead of you, if you know what I mean. And also, they've both been not taking chances and hitting the front, haven't they? So, yeah, I take your point, but I do sympathise with the two managers, I have to say, because it's such a high-pressure game. Clipped in. Pookie is kind of like Mitrovic, all world in Championship, not so much in Prem. Yeah, I think it's more complex than that, Luke, isn't it? I think what would Mitrovic do in the West Ham team? What would Pookie do in the Spurs team? Do you know what I mean? I think they're good players, but as we always say, Pookie and Mitrovic, 11 each in relegated teams, crossed in from the left by Kamara, easily grabbed by Gunn. So they both got 11 in relegated teams, Pookie and Mitrovic. And Norwich finished abject bottom. I actually think that's pretty good. If you can add, say they finish 10th, they're probably going to get 15, those two. Only Jermaine Defoe in the last 5 years in a relegated team has scored more goals than either Pookie or Mitrovic. Dennis runs the channel so well, he can become a top 6 player. He's only on loan, isn't he, Anne? Emmanuel Dennis. Let me just double check. Oh, someone will beat me to it, will they? He's not another Udinese one, is he, Dennis? But yes, he's done himself no harm putting himself in the shop window there. King was a bit late on Gibson there. I don't think the red card, the yellow card was in any danger of coming out. Emmanuel Dennis, only 24 as well. And he is... Oh, no. They signed him permanently. Okay. That was clever from Watford, wasn't it? Interesting. Those with skin in the game are tense watching this. It's nice being a neutral, though, Chris, isn't it? Nice and relaxed. There you go. I remember I always joke with West Brom and Villa fans. I was the most chilled out bloke in the Hawthorns when that playoff semi-final local derby went to a penalty shootout. Everyone around me couldn't even watch. Here comes Dennis down the left. Dennis steps inside. Nice ball. Camera clips it in looking for King. Good header by Gibson. Dennis, Lees Melu dives in to win that. And the Norwich players surround referee Dean. Everyone needs to calm down. The yellow card is out. Dennis has been booked. This was one of those where both players just went in and arrived at the same time. So I think players jump on it. I'll wait to see the replay, as I always do. My first instinct was, come on, guys. Do you know what? They both kind of stamp into it, don't they? Let's have a look. In fact, Mayhew stamps down. Let's have a look at that. I wonder if VAR might have a look at this. Oh, God. Well, it's not a good tackle by either of them, but Mayhew actually stamps down, and then Dennis. It's gone the other way, and Dennis has been booked. I wonder whether the VAR is having a look at that now. Dennis stamps down a little bit there, doesn't he? Signed an opponent for Club Brugge. Yeah, I thought he was on loan. Yeah, good signing. Good signing that for sure. You're such a pro, Ben. No obvious Norwich hate. Obvious. I couldn't be this unbiased over a Sheffield Wednesday game. Man, I'm just enjoying the football, hey? This feels like the first leg of a cup game. Yeah, I know what you mean. Or a playoff or something like that. Pookie and Mitro, great goal scoring records internationally. Exactly. It's not that simple, isn't it? Tom Crossan, thank you very much. Is he stitching me up there? I don't know what that means. Sorry, there's a bit of spam in the comments, so I'll just stick that person in the timeout. As ever, we treat spammers. Thank you, Tom. Who's DB Cooper anyway? Am I getting stitched up here? Thank you for the super chat. So I've got no idea what Tom's talking about. We treat spammers like streakers. They get ushered off. We don't put them on camera, and then they disappear. There's another yellow card actually came out for Kenny McLean, I think, straight after that. But we're going back and forth in the chat. Here's Dennis. Dennis inside to Kambe. Steps outside of Mayhew. Back it comes to Kambe. It will slide down the line. Sissoko. Nice touch inside. Here's Dennis. Really good ball by Sissoko. Dennis turns inside and, yes, throws himself to the ground somewhat. DB Cooper was a bank robber who jumped out of a plane. Okay. Let me read this super chat. There we go then. Do you think DB Cooper survived his parachute jump? I don't know, but I now know who DB Cooper is. That's good. Jump with a big bag of cash. Well, you learn every day's a school day here in the chat. It does say a lot about the game, though, if we're doing history lessons about felons running from the FBI and jumping out of planes. So, João Pedro. Watford have been the better side now since about minute 20, haven't they? Norwich started quite well. Oh, that's poor. Given away. Here's Pookie. Pookie, nice turn. Foul by Josh King, who gives it a very petulant tantrumy. I took the ball. Never let the ball confuse you in terms of a foul. The ball is almost irrelevant. Listen to the excellent Seen Them Given podcast with ex-referee Keith Hackett. He always makes that point. Don't worry about the ball. Do not worry. Iain, hopefully live from the ground updates. Rotherham, Cheltenham, brilliant stuff, Iain. Do check in if you can get phone signal. Always fun in a football stadium getting phone signal, isn't it? Hi from Brazil, Val. Welcome along, sir. If you're watching João Pedro. Last 10 minutes possession, 84% Watford. Here is Sissoko, who's rolled Mayhew a bit too easily there. Kayembe, lovely ball by Kayembe out to Dennis. Dennis low cross. Gibson in the right place at the right time. And here's Rasica on a break for Norwich. Good ball to Pookie. Norwich have been defending for about 20 minutes, but they're on the counter here, although Watford have got plenty back now, I have to say. Rasicha turned inside. And it is cleared away. Am I coming to any Leicester games? I don't know, Anne. I don't know what my schedule is for doing fan cams or whatnot. You'll have to speak to my big boss man. Might be more likely a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night, being we're pretty much committed to the super streams now. Norwich need to win this. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, indeed. Still can't decide who's going down with Watford, Burnley and Norwich. Well, only 3 of them. So that could be your list. Throw into Norwich, 42 on the clock, virtually 10 seconds. And then we're up to 42. Kayembe, who's got more and more of the ball, which is stating the bleeding obvious, really, because Watford have got more and more and more of the ball. Yes, please, Anne. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I will DM you. We'll try and do a Tuesday nighter. Here is Samir. Switched across. It's all Watford now, isn't it? Norwich, the odd little foray, but they're very much just set up to contain here. And we've said it's all about the win here. But hey, we don't know. We don't know what the game plan is going on. Sometimes teams sit in and then they go for it, don't they? But certainly, if I'm Ben Gibson or Grant Hanley, I'm probably quite happy. Mid-low block, lots of protection in front, head it, kick it. Jobs are good, eh? So Mick McCarthy used to play Christoph Berra and he used to look like John Terry, so... Camera in the left-back position, blasts it against Max Aarons. It's going to be a throw-in to Watford. Add Burnley to the dearly departed. Maybe so. Remember, the dearly departed have to get promoted, though, so that would involve Burnley coming down and then bouncing back up. Big throw down the line. Wenlock, surprised Norwich aren't active in the loan market. Yeah, I think it would have to be loans for Norwich. They spent a lot of money in summer, didn't they? And pretty much on Sargent, Jollis, Rasicha, wasn't it? At least Malou, I think it was 5 million as well. That's good from Rasicha. Comes across on the cover from the right wing. Don't forget about Ada. When is that, Dan? That sounds fun. Anyone watch much of Preston? Yeah, there's a lad called Dan who watches our channel. If not, ask Ben HD as well. He'll tell you all about Iverson. Yeah, are Dyson Warnock managing these teams nowadays? Yes, it's very much don't lose at the moment. Although Watford have sort of had the more intent to get out and score in this one. But yeah, it's not been... I mean, have we had a shot on target from either team? One shot on target in this game so far for Watford. Look, we do all the numbers at half time. Here's Sissoko. Sissoko to Firmino. João Pedro. We're about 10 seconds from the 45. There's not going to be much stoppage time. Sorensen got hurt, didn't he? 2 minutes maybe stoppage time. Williams is... Well, he's delayed the restart there. Yeah, 2 minutes stoppage time. We've done this before, haven't we? At least Malou trod on the foot there of Dennis. That looked like a painful one. Oh, into the box come Watford and João Pedro. Tries a shot with the outside of his foot. Josh King is furious with him. João Pedro and Josh King are proper having a screaming match. Let's just say João Pedro's learned how to say Foxtrot Oscar in English. Bless him. It's good to see the passion, but I suspect that argument will continue into the dressing room. King and João Pedro proper chipping away at each other there. It's passion, isn't it, hey? How long before teams removed from the dearly departed, Iain? I don't think we need to remove any teams. I think they can stay there unless we get to a point where there's like 8 or something. Might be a bit too much work. Might just be, may as well cover the whole league then, especially if none of them play each other. Doing 8 out of 10 games anyway, then, aren't you? Here comes Cleverly. We are 90 seconds into 2 minutes of stoppage time. This is a nice looking break in the channel here. Josh King, good cross, Sissoko. Oh, that's the best chance of the game. He doesn't get any direction on the shot. It's really good from King. He goes out into the right channel. They just get sucked too far forward there. Williams is out of position, and Gibson's nowhere near King, and he doesn't want to go out near that touchline either, does he? Good cross. Oh, he should do much better with that, Sissoko, shouldn't he? Good play by King. Yeah, shanks that one with the left foot. If he can guide that towards the corner, Gunn isn't getting there. I would say best chance of the game, that one. Just before half-time. Yes. Watford 0, Norwich 0. If you want to give me your, without swearing, please, if you want to give me your reflections on, look, we always have this conversation. It's sport, isn't it? We're fans, so we're the entertainment side of it. Claudio Ranieri and Dean Smith are being paid to win, aren't they? And look, they've both perhaps picked Smith more so for Norwich. And I get it. A bit of a passive strategy, let's just say, which means it hasn't been the best watch. But I get it. And sometimes as fans, we need to remember that the entertainment side is a byproduct of the sport, and they're not there primarily to entertain. They're there to win. Of course, we'll all switch off if it's not entertaining, but there we go. Get your comments in on the first half. Watford 0, Norwich 0. Fairly basic narrative is that Norwich were probably the better side for 10 to 15 minutes, and then really just got stuck behind the ball, stayed in shape, and Watford were pretty, I'd say dominant, but had most of the territory. They've hardly been knocking the door down. There's the attack momentum graph, which you can see, goes completely with what I said with the green bars starting at around the 20-minute mark. Let's look at the numbers in isolation away from the eye test. 70-30 possession, so heavy on Watford. 8 shots to 3, 2 on target for Watford. However, it was one of the off-target ones at the end of the half that was best chance of the game. No shots on target for Norwich, no corners for Norwich. Really, that free kick from Masicha, which was like 2 minutes into the game, was pretty much as good as it got for the Canaries in that half. Again, take a look at the benches, and I'll take on board your comments about the entertainment value, and we'll look at attacking players. So Fletcher, Hernandez, maybe Semmer on the wing, maybe standing up for Watford there. For Norwich, Plachetta really, and Cholis. That's about the size of it, isn't it, in terms of their attacking options. We'll go to your comments. We can do a bit of Q&A and talk about whatever the hell you want in the chat over the halftime period. So just checking in with Betfair. Betfair, you can see up there, our sponsors for this one. Norwich are drifting. Look, 4-1 now to win this one. Watford 5-4. They've drifted as well. They were evens, and as you can imagine, the draw is coming in. Have we got a price for 0-0? 11-5. It will be getting shorter. I'd imagine that was more like 11-2 45 minutes ago. So head over to Betfair if you want to spice up. Not the most riveting watch so far. Please gamble responsibly, of course. Only gamble what you can afford. BigGambleAware.org. 18 plus only. And of course, you can see our other partner is Football 365. You can check out all my championship writing on Football 365. Today, the top 10 highest scoring championship teams ever. When I say ever, That means after 1992. Do check that out over on Football 365. It's good fun reminiscing about some of those teams. Right, let's dive into some of the comments. Get any discussion topics up. Rate my dinner. Chinese takeaway for Annie. That sounds... do you know what? I love my missus dearly, but she doesn't like Chinese takeaway. She prefers... so I never really have a Chinese anymore. The sacrifices we make for a wonderful woman, hey? Ben, risky going defensive when you're defending is the reason you concede so much. On the other hand, all-out attack is no good. You cannot attack. Yeah. Look, obviously we're going from one extreme to the other, perhaps a little bit with Norwich here, aren't we? Where Norwich supporters were always a bit upset with Daniel Farke that it was very, very much, well, no, this is the passing and the kind of open style. And they would complain about the lack of being able to do this. Whereas today, obviously, they're very, very much sitting in mid-low block, turning into a low block. And trying not to lose, basically. So, yeah, it feels like a little bit one extreme to the other, but there we go. A-Dub, favourite film of all time. I'll give that one to the chat. Might as well sleep. City will be better in the second half. Yeah, they need to get on the ball, don't they? You're ahead of the curve, Ben. The dearly departed of that clear group between Premier and Championship. Maybe they'll rename the league that. We'll get like a league in between. The Premier League 2 will be called that. One-word review, tentative. Yeah, I'll give you that. Although, give Watford some credit. They were the less passive of the two teams, weren't they? They were trying to get themselves in front for the last 20 minutes of that half, weren't they? Seems both teams are scared to lose. This half has been a snooze fest. It has a bit, hasn't it? Hit the thumbs up button, by the way. That's a like for the stream rather than the game, apparently, which no one seems to be enjoying too much. But look, it's a big game. We've got to cover it. Dearly departed Darby as well. Back to the Future. Great movie, isn't it? Not a classic. Maybe a goal will spark it into life. Maybe, Carl. Where's it coming from, though, Carl? That's the issue, isn't it? Chris is famed for never mincing his words, isn't he? A woeful game. Norwich started brightly. Watford have dominated since 20. We totally agree, don't we? Both clubs returning from whence they came. Charlotte booking harsh on Dennis. Replay suggests the card could... Yeah, I think I agree with you, actually. Either they both get booked or neither of them get booked. Both as bad as each other. And I don't really think it matters who kind of got there first, does it? Perry, I'm going to go straight down there for a super chat. Thank you, Perry. I will drink to that, my friend. Thank you very, very much. £4.49 on the super chat. Let's go to some more comments. Where are we going to land here? Alex, Ollie Burke, a good signing. Smith to Salford is a great signing for them. Yeah, Bodvarsson to... I like Ollie Burke. I know the Sheffield United fans are a bit fed up of him. I remember when he came through at Forest, he was fantastic, but obviously not a lot since. So look, there's a player in there and I'd love to see him get back to it. But yeah, it's a very Rowett-like pickup, isn't it? Trying to resuscitate that type player. He's done that before. Thoughts on Tom Lawrence possibly to Rangers? I like Tom Lawrence a lot. We had him on loan at Ipswich from Leicester back in the day and he was fantastic. And I know he's on a hefty, what is he on? 1.4 million a year, I think, over at Derby. So, yeah, he's the one that the administrators seem keen to get off the books. How would you feel about a 24 Premier League team season? Yeah, it's a no from me, DJ. I'm perfectly happy. If anything, I think, look, we were talking earlier about reducing the gaps, weren't we? And it's almost like, and I know people don't like the Premier League 2 suggestion, but if there was more of a drop-down effect of if it did go to 16 teams, then 16 teams, and then EFL, that might be a way, I know that would be a Premier League suggestion and they would like it, of ratcheting the drop-down with the money a little bit better. So, yeah, I think it'll get smaller rather than bigger. Wenlock, Premier League break next weekend. Do you think the Championship should also have a winter break? Yeah, probably should. Shouldn't it? Probably should. But I don't think that comes unless you get that big restructure I was just talking about, where, we might go 16 teams Premier League, 16 teams Premier League 2, and then EFL 20 or whatever. How you going to add it all up? Yeah, you could almost go 20, 20, 20 then, couldn't you? Although that adds up to 96. So there you go. You go 96 professional teams. I don't know. Hal, there's a player in there with Burke, Winger, and Blaze played him up front. Real pace. Needs to know. Yeah, I agree with all of that, actually. I like him, Hal. Steve, how many Ipswich players on escape to victory? God, loads. Russell Osman. We had George Burley on Blue Monday, actually, the other day. He could have gone, but he didn't. Did Beattie do it? I think he did. Johnny Walk did. Laurie Civil? I can't remember. 4 or 5, for sure. DJ, do you think Ismail should be sacked if he loses at home to Peterborough? Is this a sackable offence now, losing at home to the Posh? Maybe. What a bad game this is. Not been great. Let's not fixate on that. Perry, thanks for the watch along. Are the R's going up? Possibly via the playoffs if they're going to. It's just those pesky parachute teams you've got to get past. If you are a QPR fan, what's your feelings on games where the referee doesn't add any extra time when the game is 5-0, even though there should have been added time? Do you know, it's something I've never given any thought, DJ, but look, I think there's an unwritten rule that teams, they kind of stop at 5-0, don't they? Maybe referees do too, but there you go. If you were manager at Swansea, what would you do with the Jamie Patterson contract saga? Fill me in a bit more about that, Five Bellies. I haven't been following it massively. So, yeah, let me know. Apologies if just getting rid of some offensive comments in the chat. If we can all use the chat nicely, that would be lovely. I know 99% of you do. Dan Van Cleef is a legend who always super chats as well. Dan, thanks so much. I'm going to drink to you. Where are we? God, I'm never going to get to sleep tonight, am I? Look at the amount of water I'm drinking. Drinking. I tell you what I had earlier. I had a Five Guys earlier, and I had 2 bottles of Bud at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, which was absolutely tremendous, wasn't it? Would you cover Premier League 2 or Championship? I don't know, Marco. If there was a big sort of reshuffle, yeah, we would have a strong think, but we're at the point now where I'm trying to do it for a living. So it's, if people are offering me to do one thing or other, and I've got to feed the family. But no, obviously, we love the Championship, don't we? Anything else here? Vindaloo, no gripes on the game tonight. These are serious bowlers, but they're playing in a context. But yeah, exactly right. Well put indeed. What else have we got here? Kevin O'Callaghan, was he really? Deary me, escape to victory. Classic. Everton should give Ferguson a chance till the end of the season. Well, he's in the chair, isn't he? In the chair. We'll see how he goes. In response to your fish dad joke the other day, what do you call 2 red stuff it up? My fish dad joke was bad, I tell you. Deary me, I think that might be worse. Wenlock, thank you so much. $8.99 on the super chat. That's Iain, isn't it? On Patreon as well. It's been very kind. Thanks, Iain. Very, very kind indeed. And thank you for the movie recommendation. Actually, I think we might be doing movie night tomorrow night, so that sounds fun. Perry, you've super chatted twice now. That's very, very kind indeed. Thank you, everybody, for the support. I can tell you're all bored. And the kindness is coming out. Right, Five Belly's going to tell us about Jamie Patterson, and you guys can give your thoughts. Refused to play for Swansea at Huddersfield. Russell Martin says head wasn't in the right place. Swansea activated a 12-month extension early. Feels he wanted more. No one wanted him so well. Without reading too much, just on the basis of your comments there, and being very binary about this, Five Bellies, if Jamie Patterson signed a contract which allowed Swansea to trigger a 12-month extension, then there's no conversation, is there? And he should be turning up for work. I only know what you've just said there, but yeah, It's always a bit of a funny one. I remember as a couple of Ipswich players had a year option for the contract, and the club let it go short before triggering the option. And it's like, well, if you don't want the club to be in that position, don't sign the contract. Is kind of where we are, So, yeah, there you go. Why are you lot all slagging off Bud? It's anything they serve in Five Guys. So there we go. Look at this flagrant disrespect. Did you stop this, Ant? If there's disrespect going on, it will be started by Anne here somewhere, won't it? You need to look into it. He's been great for us. Yeah, I'll have a read. I only know what you've just told me. He has been great. When we did Five Bellies, when we did the the striker review, the attacking player, he came up really high. Him and Piro did actually. Ollie, 4-2-4. Didn't look like there was 4 up top to me, Ollie, but I know what you mean. I think you mean 4-4-2 there. When you have McLean and Lise Miller, it's fine having one of them, but not. Yeah, I know what you mean. You're totally right. They've both been just put in there to patrol, haven't they? Ollie, another day at the office. There you go, Marco. Standing up for the lovely brand that is Budweiser. Right. Second half has started. We got through half time, didn't we? It's Watford 0, Norwich 0. Teams ticking along the bottom. Please hit the like button, by the way. I can see plenty of you watching, which is fantastic. Thank you all for the support. Thank you for coming and hanging out tonight. And as ever, thank you for your comments and keeping that chat flowing. Really quickly, backman in goal for Watford, Firmino, Kabasele, Samir and Kamara. Sissoko, Kembe, Cleverly, Dennis King, João Pedro, as Norwich were thrown in the left-back area. Gunn in goal for Norwich. Aarons, Hanley, Gibson, Williams. Rasica, Lise Melu, Sargent. It was Sorensen. He's been replaced by McLean. Cleverly sort of fell on his calf there. Nothing in it really, but I think he'll be okay. Ida and Pookie up top. Remember the upside here tonight. A Norwich win takes them out of the bottom 3. A Watford win would put a 4-point gap in. And I believe 2 games in hand, I think, still as well. So big 6-pointer. A lot of you, and I agree with you, saying it's a must-not-lose game. And it's kind of played out that way, hasn't it? Watford 0, Norwich 0. Here comes Sissoko down the left. He keeps going. João Pedro hits the shot. It's over the crossbar. There was a coming together there. I think I didn't see the Norwich player that went down. Who was it? Is it Lise Melu? Was it Aarons? It's Aarons over in the right back position. Of course it is. He wanted a free kick. He did not get one. So no, it was Lise Melu, wasn't it? João Pedro hit the shot left-footed. I'm sure Josh King probably had something to say to him after that. Here's Sargent into Aarons, who sticks it in the channel. And, they look a far cry from the Daniel Farker side that never, ever played a long ball, did they? It was always built up very fastidiously out from the back, wasn't it? Very, it's not recurring, very effectively too. I think I need a new pair of earphones. I got the most ridiculous comment in the YouTube comments today from some geek who counted the number of times I adjusted my earphones. They're falling out, obviously. They weren't falling out, I wouldn't adjust them. So sorry if that upsets anybody. Upset that particular guy, didn't it? I suggested he didn't have a lot going on in his life, if that was any kind of an issue for him. But what are you going to do, hey? The YouTube comments, everybody. Ida slips it out onto the right touchline. Aarons gets his feet all in a tiz. Does well to keep the ball in play. And then is fouled. Aarons takes the free kick, boots it straight at João Pedro. He's going to get another go. What's he going to do with it? He's going to clip it in the channel. There you go. Percentages again. Easily headed away and out for another Norwich throw. You could say they look a far cry. You could. You really, really could. Twitter poll, only 6% said 0-0. Good. Hopefully that means Pookie into the box there. It's going to be a goal kick. We get one of those excellent Mike Dean points that he loves to do. Always good comedy value, referee Dean. Did he get it right though? Yes, he did. It was Samir playing it off Pookie, and it was a goal kick. Here comes João Pedro down the left. He's got an overlap from Camera. Camera going for the byline. Aaron's too good for him. Well played there, Aaron's, who started the second half well, the Norwich right back. As we come up, 50 minutes in this one. Watford 0. Norwich 0. Not a lot going on, guys, is there? My apologies. Some people get cross with me when the game's not very good. I have no control over it, of course. I find it almost as amusing as when I predict a team to lose and then they win and people are really happy. And they're like, you predicted them to lose and that's why they won. Is it? Turned over high. Here's McLean. Well, Pookie was in if that was the right ball by McLean. He's kept it alive, has he? It's into the box, into the back of the net. Surely that went over the line. I think the goal's been given. Now, I wonder, did the ball go out of play in the build-up? This is an interesting one. I think Norwich City have taken the lead here, and Josh Sargent has finally scored. So the goal line tech's gone off on Mike Dean's watch. The question I've got is, did it go out initially in the build-up? Let's have a look. No, it did not. No, this goal is going to stand. Yes, and Norwich are going to lead against the run of play across the whole of the game. But that ball didn't go out. It really didn't. And it's not really that close either. I thought McLean should have played Pookie in initially. It went a little bit wide. It's poor from Samir. Pookie crosses it back. Sargent tries to get something on it, and the ball hits the bar, bounces down, goes over the line. Yeah, there's no foul by Pookie on Samir, I don't think. I just think he's not strong enough, is he? He's a big strapping lad, Samir. And I don't see anything wrong with that goal. And it's Watford 0, Norwich 1. I don't think that's a foul, is it? No, it's not. I think, and I'm really leaving my bias to the door here, I think Norwich will be very hard done to if that gets disallowed. I don't see any real kind of pull. Ref, is he going to the screen? Yeah, the goal stands. No, I think that's the right decision. It wasn't foul by Pookie, was it? Look, if he pulled back, then, yeah, we know it's going to get given as a foul. But Josh Sargent has finally got himself a Premier League goal for Norwich, and it's Watford 0, Norwich 1. Josh, never doubted you. Never. Yeah, it wasn't a foul, was it, Hal? They seem to just be very keen to just disallow everything, don't they? My first instinct was the ball went out, but it didn't, did it? And it wasn't a foul by Pookie, was it? Samir just tries to get his body in the way. And yeah, I think we all agree in the chat that there's nothing wrong with that goal, is there? It's Watford 0, Norwich 1. And yes, we were a bit sarcastic about the Norwich sitting in the first half. But look, here they lead 1-0. And let's have a look. I mean, I'm not sure he in any way means to put it where he puts it. He's just trying to get any kind of contact on. But he will take it. And look at that. Norwich out of the bottom 3. There you go. What about the finish from Sargent? I think I'll reiterate my comments there. Chris, I think he just tries to get as good a contact on it as he can. It's played behind him, and then you're just in the lap of the gods, and it happens to flip up and hit the bar and drop over the line. It's unimportant, the aesthetic beauty. Yeah, it's a bizarre goal, in all honesty. Yeah, I mean, Annie says it's a brilliant. I tend to judge finish. It's instinctive, isn't it? He sticks out his foot and gets a good contact. I tend to judge a brilliant finish as someone very deliberately doing something. Do you know what I mean? But yes, I think I'm with Hal on that one. A bizarre guy. Actually, Wenlock's right. Pookie puts it behind him, doesn't he? Made life hard for him. It's a good finish in that respect. I don't know what you mean by he meant that, Chris. Obviously, he's meaning to, shoot the ball from that angle, but it's one of those, isn't it? It's like overhead kicks, really. You're essentially, Sargent does look very pleased, and he's had a bad start. So I'm kind of happy for a player who's had a bad start. It's kind of one of those where a player just tries to get something on it and direct it towards the goal. Where they're putting it, I don't think they know. But in terms of he meant it, he certainly meant to shoot, didn't he? I agree with that. I agree with Carl. It's an instinctive. That's what it is, isn't it? It's stick your foot out, try and direct it towards goal, and hey, happy days if it goes barring in, isn't it? Norwich have been dismal all season. They're out of the bottom three. How? Everyone else down there is rubbish, Annie, isn't it? Perry, it's an amazing finish. I'm afraid we're going to have to agree to disagree on that. I just think it's a instinctive stick your leg out. To me, there are amazing finishes, and that's not one of them. But you would not care a slightest if you're a Norwich fan. And of course, we're all entitled to our opinion in the chat. Goal match the game, says Uncle Mort. Indeed. And Wayne says, hit the like button. Yes, please do that. It's Watford 0, Norwich 1. About to order a BBFC iPhone case. Oh, excellent. I don't know how long the delivery is. I've not had any complaints from anybody about delivery on anything from the merch store. But yeah, that'd be awesome if you do. I would say send me a picture of it, but I'm not sure how you're going to take a picture of it when your phone's in the case, if you know what I mean. Here comes Josh King down the right. King inside, and it's taken away by Lys Melou. And yeah, Norwich just need to sit on this lead now, don't they? And we're going to stick a lovely football next to Josh Sargent's name. There you go. So you can see he is the goal scorer. And it's Watford 0, Norwich 1. And Don Claudio is going to have to make a change, isn't he? As they say, it doesn't matter how you score as long as it goes in. It's legal, yeah. And that's not a euphemism. Yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right. Ben, you make excellent. Well, thank you, Matt. That's very, very kind. I'm glad you are all enjoying it. If you are, please hit the like button here. Watford 0, Norwich 1. Josh Sargent with the goal. Ranieri in trouble. Yep. You're never far from trouble at Watford, especially if you're dropping into the relegation zone, which he is at the moment. João Pedro pops the cross in. I think cleverly was unmarked in the middle there, and João Pedro put it over his head. Watford managers have been sacked for less. You're not wrong. Lys Melou hoiks that one up in the air. And I think Samir's had a foul given against him on Rasica. He's not had a good 5 minutes. So Chucho Hernandez is coming on for Tom Cleverley. We will find out where he's going to play. In just a sec. So Hernandez on for Cleverley. Have a look and see how they restructure here. It might be a 4-4-2 against a 4-4-2, I think. We might see Hernandez and Dennis on the wings, maybe. Oh no, Hernandez looks like he's gone up front. I think we saw Ranieri do this when we covered Watford against Brentford. Go with wingers. It didn't work out well, actually, at the end of that game. But he's got to try something, or they're going in the bottom three here, aren't they? So I think Josh King's gone out to the right wing. And possibly, yeah, João Pedro's gone out to the left wing. And Hernandez and Dennis are playing up front together. Here's Sargent. He looks a bit more confident now. Tries to slide it in behind to Rasica. And Firmino gets that one clear. What happened there? Oh, have we lost the floodlights? Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear. We've just had a floodlight problem. So conspiracy theories ahoy now. Norwich are leading, but we've got a floodlight issue. Someone put 50p in the meter and count the stoppage time. Hopefully they'll get this all sorted. We've got 60 minutes on the clock. And they're not out completely, but Sky showed a close-up of one of the floodlights. And half of it was sort of out. So it's gone a bit duller than it was. Just seeing that goal again. Pookie does well. Didn't look like a foul for me. Crosses it behind Sargent, who just flings his foot at it. Gets the best contact he can, and it flies in off the bar. He can't do a lot more with that, can he, Sargent? Claudio Ranieri and Dean Smith are having a good old powwow there. Yeah, I bet the Norwich fans are putting the torches on. They don't want this one getting abandoned. They're leaving. Yeah, Stephen, I think people are misunderstanding my point here. Right, I have at no point said Josh Sargent doesn't mean to score. He clearly means to score. What I'm trying to say, and either I'm not explaining it very well, or people are not understanding, or a bit of both. It's an instinctive finish where he just kind of flings his foot at it and tries to get the best. Yes, of course he means to shoot. He's not just, the ball's not just ended up in the goal and bounced off him, of course. But yeah, I'll say no more because I've tried to make my position as clear as possible on this. And hey, it doesn't matter, like a few of you have said in the chat, how they go in, as long as they go in. And everybody's entitled to their opinion, aren't they? And we can probably move on. Hopefully, Chris, possibly the most exciting thing that's happened in the game. So they've still not come back on, the floodlights up there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's kind of 8 blocks of lights. There's 2 aside, and it comes down, and they've lost sort of the bottom 5 blocks of all the lights. I understand, Ben, but it's called the Scorpion. I mean, you can call it what you like. It's I've given my opinion, Stephen. I thought the Scorpion kick was what Rennie Higuita did, but there you go. Bits. I've got Watford to finish in the top half of the league. Yeah, we're struggling with that. Dean Smith's having a good old smile and a good old laugh, but I bet deep inside he's thinking he does not want this to get abandoned with Norwich leading. It looks, yes, there we go. Excellent. They're back on. So we lost about 3 minutes there. Oh God, have they gone again? This is not good. So the floodlights came back on then for about 15 seconds, and then they've gone off again. And some very pensive looking Norwich fans in there, hoping this game is not going to get called off. I think our mate Russ is in there somewhere. They're trying their best to switch them on. They flashed again a minute ago. And I would implore patience, everybody in the chat, and assume good faith that people are trying their best and sometimes things go wrong, okay? The clock's ticked up to 64:55 now, so you would assume we're going to get 8 to 10 minutes of stoppage time. Might be a good time to check in with Betfair, our partners, and see what's going on. I wonder if they'll suspend betting, actually. No, of course they haven't. Watford, 8 to 1 to come back and win this. To get back and draw, 23 to 10. Norwich are now 4 to 7 to win this one. Norwich are odds on to win this game. They're just waiting for the lights to come back on fully. Let's be quite honest. None of us know what the setup is with the lights. None of us know what the proviso is. We just have to be patient. We just have to not get angry about it and assume good faith. Always start by assuming good faith until you're proved wrong. And then hopefully we can get back on with the game. But 6 minutes gone now. And this is the point where you wonder whether the players are actually going to have to go in because they need to keep warm. Lots of players asking referee Dean lots of questions, but not exactly sure what he's supposed to do. Ben Foster, stop peddling. There you go. We are nearly 7 minutes now into a floodlight failure. Referee Dean is over with the fourth official, who I assume there'll be a stadium manager or somebody there. Normally these things, and again, none of us are experts. None of us know. I'm not going to pretend, but they normally have backup generators as well, don't they? Sky have just shown a wide shot. Again, I don't know how light it has to be. It looks light enough, but again, I don't know the rules or the laws on how light things have to be. But yeah, players have just got to keep warm here. Dan Backman's all the way out of his goal. I think Dan Backman's off for a toilet break by the looks of it. There's good old Delia, the Norwich owner, or rather joint majority shareholder. It's Watford 0, Norwich 1. Norwich have got themselves into the lead. Josh Sargent with the goal. Tamu Pukki doing well. Not great defending by Samir, and he just wasn't strong enough. Pukki takes it off him. Puts the cross just behind Sargent. Sargent flips out his back foot and kind of flicks it in. It goes in off the crossbar, bounces down, and the goal line tech goes off. Instinctive finish by Sargent. Jamie Carragher says the lighting is perfectly fine. this is where we get to the point of, though, Wenlock, that we don't know what the Premier League status is or how. I don't know. I assume there's some kind of remit for how powerful floodlights need to be, and I'm sure all Premier League grounds have the floodlights set up to meet that. Could be a Hawkeye. Yeah, again, I don't know the laws. But yes, that may be a possibility. They need enough light for the Hawkeye to operate. Referee Dean is now having a word with lots of officials down there in the tunnel. He's just called Ben Gibson over. Oh, Claudio he's called over. I think he's going to have to take the players off here. And we are going to get a delay here. I say a delay. It's already been 10 minutes since we've kicked the ball here. Look, I'm not going to put any comments up that are accusatory. If you can give me evidence that someone's turned the floodlights off in a game, then show me the evidence and I'll read the comment. But we're going to assume that people are acting in good faith here. I'm not getting into tinfoil hat conspiracy nonsense, frankly. Referee Dean's now talking to Dan Backman. He keeps pulling his earpiece out. Maybe he doesn't want to hear from them. So it's now 10 minutes. I think it was about 59 when the floodlights went out. The sky clock, helpfully, is still ticking. Referee Dean's got the ball, and it looks like I think they might be going to be playing on with the lower light. And thankfully, here we go. So we're probably going to get 14 or 15 minutes stoppage time at the end of this game. So we kicked off again, and I don't think the floodlights have come back on. So obviously they're okay to continue in the light that we've got. And here is Sargent for Norwich. Sargent sticks it down the line. Rasica puts it across the box. And get comfortable, guys. We're in here for the long haul. It's 9:30 now, and this game ain't going to finish before 10 p.m., is it? Vindaloo, thanks for avoiding the conspiracy stuff, Ben. One reason why I watch your channel. Well, I mean, exactly. I need evidence if I'm going to accuse somebody of doing something wrong, hey? And unfortunately, people are very, very quick to do it, aren't they? You can call it banter, Stephen. Some people call it libel. So I need to be very, very careful what I say on here, having built up my platform to where I have. Whether it's banter or not, just doesn't really interest me, to be honest. It's fairly obvious that there's a problem with the floodlights and they're trying to fix it. And, you know, it is what it is. And obviously the floodlights are going to fail when they're switched on. And the floodlights are going to be switched on during a game. Seems fairly simple to me, but there we go. Have you tried turning them off and on again? That was my attempt at, what's his name on the IT crowd? I've been to a game where the sprinklers came on about 5 minutes into the game. Tremendous. They crossed into the back post, all headed down, and Norwich have gone 2-0 up. And the stoppage has worked perfectly in the Canaries' favour, and they are coming out of the bottom three. Josh Sargent drills the header in at the back post. Now, there you go. For all of those people who wanted to hear me praise him for the first goal, that was a great header by Sargent. And the cross came in from the left-hand side. And Watford just haven't coped with the pause and the restart. It's Brandon Williams down the left. And, is his foot going to be offside? I think this one's going to get ruled out. It's Rasica who puts the cross in, but it looked like his back foot might have been offside when he received it. Yeah, that's getting disallowed, isn't it? That's really unlucky for Josh Sargent. Let's see if the Lions have got a camber. Is his back playing him on? No, he's on. He is onside. So the line went up the Watford defender's back there. I thought they were going to scrub that one off when I saw the foot there, but it's well played by Rasica. He crosses it into the back post. And Sargent, that's a really good header, gets up on the back post and drills it into the goal. And this is turning into a bit of a nightmare for Claudio Ranieri and a great night for Josh Sargent and Norwich City. Remember, though, 73 minutes is the goal time, but this game's going to last probably 105. I reckon there'll be 14, 15 minutes stoppage time at the end. But Norwich are red hot favourites to win this one now. Pookie swings that down the line. They look really at it, Norwich, now, don't they? Aarons tries to play it into the corner. Of course, Josh Sargent is on for the perfect hat-trick. He's got one with the right foot, one with the head. We're going to get a really good angle of it now. Rasica, who was onside from the VAR lines. That's a great header. He proper bullies the defender there, Sargent, and smashes it in. It's a good goal, that. Look at that. proper Terry Butcher stuff, that one. That's excellent from Sargent, who has a huge smile. Woof. Let's have a look at some comments here. There we go. Lighting standards and broadcasting output should be 800 lumens up to 1400. Anyone got their light measurer? Sargent, oh my. Do clubs pay an electrician to be on site? I'm sure there'll be some kind of fail safe, won't they? Well, bye Claudio. Look at that. Hacksaw Jim Duggan in the chat, the great wrestler. Sargent may get promoted now. What? Up to play up front? He may do. He may do indeed. What else have we got here in the chat? Perhaps Backman didn't see it. Yeah, I think he can see all right. Excellent work by Josh Sargent, who gets his first 2 goals. Here is Kayembe. And Watford look a little bit stunned. And you have to say, Norwich played that long stoppage for the floodlight problems much better than Watford did. And Watford were just sluggish when we restarted, and Norwich pounced on it, didn't they, within minutes. Cross comes into the back post, headed away. And Sargent, who's probably going to be the man of the match for this one, isn't he? Wins the header on the back post. There's a ho for Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the 80s wrestler, in the chat here with his 2x4. I didn't see this coming. I didn't either, actually. I think I had Watford 1-0 in my predictions for this one. And Emmanuel Dennis has been red carded. He was booked in the first half, wasn't he, Dennis? For that 50-50 gone wrong with Pierre-Lys Melou. And Watford, this is going absolutely terribly. If they were going to be able to leverage the long stoppage time, well, they've got to do it with 10 men now. Dennis has been red carded. I have to say, I did not see what that second foul was. So he catches Aarons. Yeah, I mean, it's not a good tackle, is it? Aarons goes to clear it. The foot's high. Aarons then follows through. Not the tackle to be doing when you're on a yellow card. And yeah, the first one, was more 50-50ish, but the second one's very silly when you're on a yellow card. And not only are Watford down to 10 men here, but Dennis has probably been their star player this season as well. And he has been red carded. Watford down to 10. Dennis is off. Norwich pushing forward. Sargent with the left foot there. He wants the perfect hat-trick, doesn't he? And it's all coming up rosy for Norwich here, who are 2-0 up, with Watford now down to 10 men. You can head over to betfair.com, our partners, if you want. You won't get much value. Watford 500 to 1 now to win. Norwich 100 to 1 on to win. And it's a corner to the Canaries, which Rasica is going to take. Bends it in. Hanley's up on the back post. Free-ish header. Cavasele was there. And he puts it wide off the post. Let me just bring you up the live league table. And I promise I'll go into the comments and read a bit more of your insight. Yeah, Hanley won that one. Did he get penalised there? I'm not entirely sure. So look, there is the live bottom three. I say bottom three. VAR was just checking something. All is okay with that. I didn't see anything, but hey, that's why we have VAR, isn't it? So look, Norwich are going out of the bottom three. It's going to be back-to-back wins, and they are red-hot favourites to win this one. 2-0 up. There's 10 minutes of normal time to go, but we're expecting about, I don't know, 12, 14 minutes of stoppage time after the floodlight escapades. So there's a while to go yet, but that red card for Emmanuel Dennis really does not help Watford's cause here. In comes a free kick for Watford. Oh, they've got in a right muddle there. And Hernandez nearly heads it in. And Sergeant Hernandez hits the shot, blocked by Gunn, and Norwich, nearly architects of their own downfall there. Getting a right muddle at the back there. Kayembe puts it back in. Norwich just know that a sensible last sort of 25 minutes, essentially, of this one. I mean, they can lose the last 25 minutes 1-0 and still they're going to get the win. Here comes Hernandez down the left-hand side. Here's João Pedro. He's done well. Hernandez is in the box. João Pedro, his cross is deflected, and it's going to be a corner. 11.5 minute stoppage. So, yeah, we can probably add... There'll probably be another 3 minutes of stoppage time on top of that. So it will be 14, 15 minutes. There's Gunn and Sargent getting in a muddle with each other. Corner then to Watford. In it goes. Not bad delivery there into the 6-yard box. I think it was Samir, was it? In the 6-yard box. Couldn't quite get on the end of it. Dennis suspended for the Burnley game. Not good. Not good. Each yellow a bit harsh, but they kind of conflate to a red, don't they? Generally, there's a few people talking about fans leaving early. I'm afraid to say I have to stick to my core beliefs of freedom of choice and freedom of movement. And if someone buys a ticket for an event, they can come and go as they please, as far as I'm concerned. So it is what it is, really. And never something I've been particularly vexed by. So 82 on the clock, but we think we're going to have, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 minutes of stoppage time after the floodlights failed in this one. Premature to say someone's banned for the Burnley game. Yeah, they've had a few cancelled, haven't they? King is trying to run in behind Gibson. King's done well. King's done very well, actually. Puts the crossing. Good header out by Hanley. Williams gets rid. Here's Rasica. Complete giveaway by Rasica. Kayembe. João Pedro. João Pedro's got Sissoko outside of him. He's gone the other way, though. Is that Ken Sema? Did I miss a substitution? João Pedro going to the edge of the box. He goes down. No foul given by referee Dean. But that is a foul by Adam Eder. Ken Sema is now coming on. He's going to come on for Kamara, who was making his home debut. He's going to play left back. So Sema on for Kamara. I don't think Norwich have made a substitution in this second half. Obviously, they had to take Sorensen out from McLean in the first half. Watford 0, Norwich 2. There's big header forward. Here's Ida going into the left channel. Ida versus Cavasele. Ida plays it up the line to Williams, who goes back in. And Norwich, with the man advantage, can really keep the ball with quite a lot. Well, I say quite a lot more ease than they were in the first half. They didn't have the ball in the first half, really, did they? So they're able to just hold possession a lot better now. Here's Pukki, tries to turn on the edge of the box. Ball between Samir and Pukki. God, everyone's falling over. I don't think there are any fouls there by any of the 4 players involved. And here comes Sissoko, and here come Watford on the break. King down the right-hand side. Hernandez ahead of him. Good ball by King. Hernandez, João Pedro's over. Curls that one all onto the roof of the net. João Pedro's had a few shots this game. That was probably the best of them. He was in. Norwich got quite narrow there. He couldn't quite get the ball to him early enough. Gunn makes a good leap at that. Just bends it onto the roof of the net. And over it goes. Sam Byram is coming on for Teemu Pukki. And if that doesn't sound like a defensive substitution, I don't know what is. We'll see, but I suspect Norwich will go to some kind of 4-5-1 system now and just leave Adam Ida up top. Byram is just giving the instructions, but Teemu Pukki has come off, set up that first goal after a fashion, for Josh Sargent. Byram, who's had some nasty injury stuff, former Leeds West Ham player Byram, is on. 86:35 at the clock, but we're expecting lots and lots of stoppage time. Sean, why are you plugging rival companies to the one that sponsors me in the chat? Deary me. Here comes Rasicha down the left-hand side. Rasicha cuts in. Rasicha looking for Sargent. Pinballs away. And Watford clear. Right, sorry. Let's try and get in some comments. Fetzy, you know you've been a Norwich fan for a long time. When you're 2 up against 10, you're as nervous as when they're chasing a goal to take it. Well, I think that's most football fans rather than just you, Fetzy. But I feel you. I feel you. Amazing what 2 wins can do for a team and a fan base. God, especially this season, bits, isn't it? No one winning. We've said for the longest time in the Premier League, any kind of little run, even if it's literally 2 games, even if Norwich lose the next 3, they're probably going to be in a far better off position because just nobody's winning down the bottom there. Yes, get your added time guesses in. I'll start, Stephen. I'm going to go for 15. I think it's going to be 15 minutes stoppage time. All will be revealed in about 2 minutes. So get the guesses in. We'll see who gets it right. Someone will get it right. Someone always gets it right. Kuchka is coming on. Central midfielder for Kiko Firmino. So Claudio has pulled off both fullbacks now. And Kuchka is on. It's the 3rd sub for Watford. A big hoik down the ground. Hernandez down the left. Hernandez to Sissoko. Sissoko back. Hernandez into João Pedro, all building up down the left. Hernandez, little clip into the front, looking for King. Good clearance by Hanley. Hernandez gets it back. Sema, Sissoko. Watford loads of the ball again, but all in front of Norwich. There's a big dive. It's a great ball if that stays in. Well played. Here's Hernandez. Is there a decent cross here? Ken Sema, a little step over. Sema does well, actually, into the box. Oh, is there a foul there on Kucka, who leapt for the ball? No, there's not. Here is Kayembe, just outside the D, centrally. He didn't want to shoot. João Pedro, Watford putting a lot of pressure on here. Sema, João Pedro clips that in. And is the offside flag going up? Well, there was two of them over there. I thought Kucka was onside, but I thought Sissoko was offside. And it was Sissoko that put it in. So my first instinct, which hasn't always been right tonight, is that this will be disallowed for offside. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's off, isn't he? Good decision by the linesman. Sissoko's good finish. Annoyingly for Sissoko, if he doesn't touch that and Kucka puts it in, he will be onside. Great finish, but he is offside, isn't he? Angus Gunn appeals, and he is right. 15 minutes of stoppage time. Woof. I'll take that one, guys. It looks like the floodlights are back on. There we go. Are we all happy? We're going to get the floodlights for the last 15 minutes. We've already played one of them. Just in terms of subs, Watford have made 3, haven't they? Hernandez, Sema and Kucka in for Watford. Byron and McLean in for Norwich. So they've still got one more sub to make here, have Norwich. And we're going to play until 105 minutes. And we're going to be hit. Oh, my goodness me. It is 3-0 to Norwich. And it's an own goal by Kucka. And we may as well all go home. They're right there on the byline. It looked like there was nothing in it. Ida tries to cut the ball back. And it's an own goal. And this has been a great win for Norwich. An absolute disaster this for Watford. Norwich have won for sure. Now it's 3-0. Ida does well to roll his man. Oh, that is so bad. Oh, dear. I think Backman is just going to pick it up, isn't he? I mean, to be fair, maybe Kucka has to play it. But it's so poor, isn't it? And he sticks it into his own net. What a horrible substitution. Poor old Kucka sticks it into his own net. And it's 3-0. Dean Smith, the Norwich manager, celebrates. It's Watford 0. Norwich 3 as a poor Watford fan on Sky, head in hands. And where is this going now for Watford? They've got Burnley at the weekend, but Norwich are winning this one, aren't they? Don Claudio looks away. And it's going to be a 9th defeat in 11 games for Watford, which is horrible, horrible form. Norwich, on the other hand, will now be on a run of 14 points in 12 games. So let me do my maths again. Were Norwich in the next 12 games to get another 14 points, they would be at 30 points with 2 games to go. So can they keep it up? They'll get close if they can keep it up, won't they? And we know it's a low tide at the bottom. Goodness me. Can they donate that to Sargent for a hat-trick? I think he's pretty happy with this one. Some result for the Canaries. Incredible night for Norwich, isn't it? We said it's a must-win. And Norwich have nailed it, haven't they? They weren't great in the first half, were they? But I've said for the longest time, not specifically about Norwich, but about teams playing down the bottom. You've got to make the most of when circumstances go in your favour and you've got to win. So when they've got themselves 1-0 up, You know, they've managed the game well, haven't they? Managed the floodlight failure well, scored straight after it, red card, and got a third one as well. Here comes Sema. Does someone want to explain to Shaylee what happened with the floodlights and why I'm going to be late? She won't believe me. Here's Hanley. Clears it. Darling, the lights went out at Watford, so I'm going to be another 10 minutes. But there we go. Yes, 90 plus 15. Chris, as poor as Norwich, Watford have been absolute shambles. Ranieri must go. It's not been good, has it? The away end. They're having a good old night there. And Plachetta is going to come on for Norwich. Rasica is going to come off. And just fresh legs, isn't it, down the side. Last substitution for Norwich. Off comes Rasica. So one winger for another. And Plachetta, the pole, comes on. And Dean Smith, Norwich manager, looks a content man on the touchline there. I suspect he would have bitten your arm off for a 1-0, a sneaky 1-0. He's going to get a 3-0 by the looks of it here. It's always my fault. Of course, it's always my fault, isn't it? Don't believe him, they say. I broke the floodlights, didn't I? Here is Josh King. Drives that one. Angus Gunn, the Norwich keeper, knows that's going wide. And just leaves that. So we have had 6 minutes now of the 15 minutes of stoppage time. Burn. This could be one of the greatest relegation comebacks. The only problem is it's a little bit of a turnaround, but the standard is just so low down there in terms of the points per game. Norwich will still will be 6 points off 1 point per game. So yes, they've come strong out of the bottom three, but it's a low standard down, isn't there? A very, very low tide. And Norwich will just be looking to manage this game out. Here's Kutska. Oh my goodness. What a gargantuan super chat from Bits. He must have just won a bet. Bits, that's very, very kind. Thank you so much, sir. I will drink to you. 45 quid. Thank you so, so much, Bits. And if Shaylee sees that, Hernandez hits the shot. Oh, he's hit the crossbar. Just one of those days for Watford, isn't it? Hey. Oh, Shaylee's still here. Look. That can go towards a new chair for Ben. He's in great need with that bad neck of his. There you go. She's watching. She's the boss, Bits. But thank you. So, so kind. Yeah, so that money's accounted for. Shaylee will have literally bought a chair by the time I get downstairs now. Bless her. 97:35 on the clock. Chris makes a point that I didn't really dare make because Norwich fans will tell me off. He says Norwich have played a lot better and lost this season. I mean, he's right, isn't he? And as much as this is a great win for Norwich, the first half was awful, wasn't it? And Watford hasn't been great. So maybe they might need to up the standards. But what you've got to think of from the point of view of these teams down the bottom is survival this year is not about being good, is it? You just got to be better than the four teams down the bottom. And if we don't get the Newcastle surge, Norwich could be quite bad and stay up. And that might be all they need to do. Man adjusts headphones on the internet. It's terrible, Anna, isn't it? Strongly worded letter. Hashtag new chair. Thank you, Bits. Shaylee's on it. Here is Sissoko for Watford. Yeah, let's do some more meatloaf puns then. Go on. 2 out of 3 ain't bad for Josh Sargent. Yeah, we need some new headphones too. My dad got me a voucher for Christmas and we haven't spent it yet, so maybe we get some new headphones. Turning point in Norwich. It could be. Really could be MRR, couldn't it? Really, really could be. Sorry, I put them in and then, I don't know, they must just work their way loose as we go. Sema down the left, and then I have to poke them in every 2 seconds. How was Rasicha tonight? Perfectly fine, Robin. Good assist for the second goal. We've got to give him credit for that. It's to Chris's point that Norwich haven't really done anything spectacular to win this. They've managed the game quite nicely, and some key scoring moments. They've been on it. So it's not like they were relying on a Rasicha or someone of that nature for some magic. I suppose Sargent will probably be the man of the match, and given how he's struggled this season, he probably deserves that with his 2 goals, doesn't he? Tjelta, am I saying that right? Yeah, that is a good point. Games in hand, ahoy down there. That might get the points per game going. How was Josh Sargent? Well, hopefully for his sake, this performance will get them going, won't they? Expensive player, first goals, but 2 of them tonight. I don't necessarily agree with all of the chat. I thought the first one was just an instinctive finish. The second one was really good, though. Big header on the back post. Ben, you're a legend. You don't need to apologise for your headphones. Oh, there is Kuchka comes in on the back post. He's had a nightmare, hasn't he? Blessed him with the own goal. And he was there to knock in the chance that Sissoko took off him, and then he was offside. Only just noticed Fark. Yes, the old manager is with Krasnodar now in Russia. Is that a serious question, Ben? If Ipswich played Norwich, who would win? Well, one team's in the Premier League and one team's in League One. So I'll say no more, as with most. Yeah, you've got to get points from games in hand. But yeah, we're very keen on this channel to make sure people don't add 3 points on for a game in hand. You've got to add on the average points per game for a game in hand. People just add on 3. But, it's something that can be leveraged if a team can find some form, isn't it? Yeah, Rotherham had lots of games in hand, but look, we got to take each club on their own merits, haven't we? If Rotherham losing some games in hand in 2020 in the Championship doesn't mean that Burnley are going to lose some games in hand. We take them on their merit, but they're no guarantee it didn't go well for Watford, for Rotherham, did it? Shaylee, she's totally right. Thank you, and. Yeah, we are surviving on maternity pay and my YouTube money and all of that. So she is right. Thank you. Loads of super chats tonight. Really, really, really kind indeed. Yeah, night Shaylee, get the chair done. Yes, indeed. DJ will be here with the super stream tomorrow. Really looking forward to that one. Too many games in hand can become a hindrance. Totally. Yeah, it can work both ways. So here come Norwich. They're 3-on-2 here. Are they going to go 4-0 up? Oh, dear. Placheta played it to Ida. Norwich should have probably gone 4-0 up then, shouldn't they? Ida, rightly, is yelling at Placheta saying that was a dreadful pass. And he dwelled on it. Placheta has got a really indecisive. He needs to drive centrally. And it's really bad by Placheta, actually. Norwich should probably be 4-0 up. Maybe he's just cold because he's a substitute, isn't he? Issue for Norwich and Watford, it seems like Newcastle could suddenly find form. It's just, I agree, Ash. I agree. It's just if and when is that going to happen? Because it hasn't happened under Howe. It hasn't happened at the start of the transfer window. It feels like it might be late February before they even do. So are they going to end up leaving it too late, Newcastle, even though they'll undoubtedly have the bigger spend? Josh Sargent has got man of the match, which I'm actually behind. You don't like to see players struggle when they've had a big transfer. And he's got 2 goals here, and he seemed really made up when he scored his first one, didn't he? So let's be honest, the game's not been high on quality. So that Sargent header, particularly for the second goal, terrific finish there. Here is João Pedro. We are 40 seconds left of the minimum 15-minute stoppage time. I'm sure referee Dean will just blow up as soon as that's done. Put everybody out of their misery. Mr. Radio Floyd, thank you so much. £3 on the super chat. Very, very kind. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats tonight. I suspect the final whistle is about to go here in about 5 seconds' time. And it is full time. Watford 0, Norwich 3. A dreadful night. Dreadful night for Watford. The game was really poor in the first half. Actually, Norwich were really poor in the first half, and Watford looked for the last 20 minutes there like the direction of travel was going to help them in the second half. But Norwich come out in the second half, and you give them credit, they were better. They've took their chances well, haven't they? Sargent got them in front. And then what you do have to say about Norwich is, particularly after that floodlight failure, Watford were fast asleep, weren't they? And Norwich got back into the game. It's a good goal by Sargent, big header. And then a breakaway. Dean Smith, you can imagine, is smiling very broadly. And it was an own goal for 3-0, but it was all done by then. Robin, thank you so much. Very kind. Another super chat. And look what that does to the bottom of the table here. We know it's snail racing, but look what happens when you win 2 games in a row when the standard is so bad. And Norwich are out of the bottom 3. And look, they're going to end the weekend out of the bottom 3 as well. Newcastle's maximum upside is 15. They've got to go to Leeds, which is going to be tricky at the moment. Burnley have got to go to Arsenal as well. So you would imagine Norwich could have a little bit of a gap now with these 2 wins in a row. Huge stuff. And I believe I'm right in saying that Burnley and Watford play soon as well. Start of February, they got rescheduled for it's supposed to be in the week, wasn't it? So there you go. That is about the size of it. Thank you for all of your comments and all of that good stuff in the chat. We're a little bit late, so I'm going to bid you all farewell. Before you go, guys, please hit the thumbs up button just to give the stream a little bit more of a push, although you've all been absolutely fantastic tonight. Apologies, I won't read out any more of the comments now. I think it is well and truly my bedtime. Thank you for the kind words, everybody in the chat. Thank you for the super chat. It's been loads. Really good of you. It was Watford 0, Norwich 3 in the dearly departed Derby, and Norwich moving out of the bottom 3. A huge win for the Canaries. And I will see you tomorrow. We may well be able to get Forest and Derby in before the super stream. We'll see what time I get up in the morning and how we get on. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It's a lovely big over and out from me. And we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully for some Forest Derby and the Saturday super stream. Over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.